Geeks worldwide, welcome to another episode of the Capes Crew podcast. I'm your host, Darth Sparrow, and I'm super excited to be back on the interwebs with all of you guys because it's been a while, and I've been doing some crazy things like Comic Cons and all that other good stuff, which my main man over here and I are going to talk about tonight. And let's introduce that gentleman on the other side of the screen with me this evening, the one, the only, Mr. Deron. Generally, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up, you? What's up, everybody? Just, chilling, doing what I do.
Darren, I'm totally digging the it's like a Megazord blueprint shirt that you got on, right?
Yeah, I got this from Loot Crate. Cannot remember.
I love it.
Loot Crate. I love it.
Yeah, well, I'm like, man, I should have got that one. I love that Megazord, that original one, man.
Exactly.
That's one of the things that I don't have on my toy shelf that I have to add because I already have the Legacy Dragon Zord, and I need the Megazord so I can combine it and do all the cool stuff with it. Just live out my dreams there.
Yeah, I'm talking about like my wife and I are looking to redo the office area, and it's all about the storage and to me the shelving and my back doorway into the shelving thing is just I got so much stuff that needs to go up on shelves.
Yeah, isn't it? That's the eternal long running problem with geeks like us that collect stuff. It's like where to put everything.
Exactly. Like it's just like literally like loose Iron Man just hanging around. Just
Darren, that's awesome, man. I had one here and I finally moved him.
Exactly. I was like, Tony needs a home. Yes. He and Nick Fury. They just need somewhere to go.
right now, I have Ash on my desk right now. He's like, "Give me some sugar, baby. Put me on a shelf."
Exactly.
Yeah, and there's a Leia face down.
Right. See, where's the love for them? They're just there. They're just loose, and they need a home.
They need love, man. Here's my problem, man. On top of all the vast amounts of collectibles that I have sitting on my office floor, now I'm getting like friends who are like kind of sort of geeks, but not really. They're kind of like moving past that phase in their life, which is the phase I will never move past. And they're like bringing me stuff that they don't want. They're like, "Well, we figured you'd like this," and I'm like, "Crap, I'm getting more stuff now."
Yeah, and the worst part about it is that you can't get rid of it because it is cool geek stuff, but at the same time, you don't have the room for it. So it's just so then it becomes a question of just it's almost a question of like killing your darlings, like which ones.
Yes.
Like which ones? You almost look at the shelves and go, maybe I should go seasonal. Maybe it's maybe it's Marvel season. This
you know what? I have a friend who does that. He changes up his display about every 6 to 8 months. I want to say, just to rotate things, and it's cool because like the few times I've gone to his house and I like, oh, that wasn't there last time. And he's like, yep, got to keep rotating, man, because I run out of space for stuff.
I'm just saying, it's like you never expand the area. But you never stop expanding with the stuff, so it's like
that's true. It's true.
You either find a place for all the stuff, or you find a way to display all the stuff at some point. But
they need to make an expanding room, Darren. Somebody needs to invent that.
Well, yeah, I mean, but if they could do that, then they might. Then it's just a TARDIS. It's a TARDIS.
Yes, it's true. It's true. It's gonna be like that. Like that tent in Harry Potter. That's like small on the outside, it's huge on the inside. Beautiful. It's good stuff, man. It's good to be back on. So I of course a couple weeks ago went to the good old San Diego Comic-Con. It's the beautiful place. It's that beautiful place where you geek out and then you want to slit your wrist all at the same time. It's like
having never been personally, I will keep the dream alive. I'll keep the delusion in my head that it's all rainbows, unicorns, and sunshine. So
hey, man, hold on to that.
Exactly. Ain't nothing gonna break my stride. I'm not gonna let you take that dream away from me with your reality.
Right. I was laughing really hard because Casey had posted a tweet about the time, and he's like, "My favorite people to follow during Comic-Con are the first timers," and he goes, "And I slowly watch them lose hope and realize that Comic-Con is hell." I was like, man, that's hitting the nail on the head a little too close. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, yeah. But I definitely plan on being the guy that's just like, nothing's gonna take this away from me. Nothing's gonna ruin this experience. And then like that first line, waiting in hallways, you're just like, this sucks. All of it.
I hate my life. I hate all of you. I hate my life. I hate it all.
Exactly. I hate stars and things that people love.
You guys suck. It's like, here's how Comic-Con went for me this year, Darren. It was a little bit tricky this year because I only went one day. Just, I had some other stuff going on, and finances at the time were, a little tight, but I was like, I'm still going to go at least a day and, do pressy stuff for the site and check out what I can within that day. And it was, my day was spent running back and forth to interview stuff, and then either like running into the convention hall to try to see something specifically, and then go outside to try to see something else. So there was a lot of back and forth for me this year, and it was like, I don't think it was as hot as last year, but it was humid. It was humid, like bad this year. So it's like, it's that fun humidity where you like walk outside and you're like drenched in sweat already. You just feel like you've already been out there for years, So
I don't look forward to that because I sweat anyway. So yeah.
Yeah. See, yeah, so that was fun. But my day started out this year with getting to interview the cast of Black Lightning, which yeah, that was fun, man. I'll be getting those interviews up to the site really soon. Hopefully this weekend I'll have those all finished and ready for you guys to check out. Awesome. But you know what was interesting, Darren? I was surprised is how little they've actually filmed of that show. The trailer that we've seen from CW, that's pretty much the only thing they filmed, and it's not even a full episode. That was just like bits and pieces of
because a lot of it does look like sequence stuff, like little flashback moments, and something like but it almost kind of reminds me of the sizzle reel that they did for Legends, when Legends was still kind of concept at that point, and they kind of threw something together to kind of sell it. So I mean that doesn't necessarily it's a little surprising, especially since they kind of got the series, the pilot order and the series order. But at the same time, I'm leaving a little bit of faith in the system, as it were.
It was really great talking to the cast, and they were all very surprised with the fact that they haven't even filmed the full episode and how much of a reception that the show is already receiving from fans and people who are eager to see what they're going to do with the show. Definitely one of the things that I got from most of the cast members was family is a very integral part of this series, being that the fact that, I didn't honestly know much about Black Lightning, the character itself, from the past, but he has two daughters who are also super powered, I believe.
Yeah.
And so that's, that's a big thing for him. And of course, the fact that he's got two daughters is one of the things that ultimately puts him into retirement from being a superhero. And also it's the thing that brings him back into the superhero game. And one of the things that I find interesting and cool, and which will be a nice change from maybe some of the other CW superhero shows, is this is definitely going to be a show that they all said is going to be a lot more grounded in reality. There's a lot of real life, real situations they're going to be dealing with the show, and maybe not so, we'll say, fantastical like some of the things in The Flash or Supergirl. Definitely more of a hard hitting, like reality based show, with this, family unit that's going to be kind of at the center of it. So it's really exciting. Chris Williams, I think, is going to be an amazing addition to the CW superhero family as the title character, and you can tell he's really excited to be in that role, and he's really looking forward to showing his chops in that show, so to speak, in the superhero genre. So I'm looking forward to too. What are your thoughts on the show, man, initially?
Well, I agree with you. It looks like he's enjoying it. And one of the things that I agree with you, especially on the reality aspect of it, is because you definitely get a sense that, I mean, you've got a character with superpowers, and you got emerging superpowers coming from his daughters, but everything I've seen is, they're going to be dealing with, some real life issues, some, real issues affecting, affecting the community, affecting just real issues that aren't necessarily fantastical, but can add like that element to it. So just it does have that kind of, it's almost CW's version of a Netflix Marvel show, where it just seems, and I hate to, I don't want to be that guy that just like compares, but it it does seem like it's going to have that kind of grounded kind of feel to it, which frankly is going to be a welcome change. Like, I love the broad fantastic elements of Flash and Supergirl and Legends. I like having them there, but sometimes you are going to want like a small kind of character driven drama, and I think that's I think that's that niche that Black Lightning is going to fill.
So. Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm looking forward.
It's going to be, like you said, a nice welcome change where, maybe when you want to break from all the crazy Savatars and alien species coming through the sky. So
it's also going to be like the first 2 seasons of Arrow, where it was just kind of this is Arrow and there's nothing else necessarily beyond that.
Right. Yeah. I think that was one of the things that they've kind of revealed from different articles, that it's not necessarily going to be tied in with all that. So we'll see what they do there, but it looks cool, man. And like I said, I'll be dropping those interviews to the site real soon. So keep up to date with the G-dubs and check out all the stuff we got coming up. I think the other thing that I got to check out, Deron, was the press conference for the new Star Trek series, Star Trek Discovery. Which, which Deron, I mean, I don't have to tell you, I'm not much of a on the side of a Star Trek guy.
I am, and you don't have to tell me. I am a Trek fanatic. Like, I just chapter and verse. So I am, just the world of Gene Roddenberry. Like, I am there. Like, have been there. Like, since my stepdad used to show me the reruns when I was a kid. Like, I'm a huge Trek nerd. So there's like,
it's big for you, right? It's big for you.
Oh yeah, it is huge, even to the point where the all access aspect of it is something that is not necessarily a turn off to me. And I'm just I don't particularly, I'm kind of clashing a little bit with paywalls, but at the same time, like, this is one that I may go ahead and shell out the $10 a month for.
Just so you can watch some Trek, man.
Yeah, I mean, I've been waiting for some Trek. Been waiting for some new Trek on TV.
Yeah. Like, what one of the things that is got me, I think, most excited about is definitely the cast that they have that's running this new Star Trek series. Of course, you've got Jason Isaacs playing the captain of the Star Trek Discovery show. Of course, everybody knows him as Lucius Malfoy, and been in a gazillion other movies like The Patriot, and just I feel he's definitely one of my favorite actors. A phenomenal actor. Another name that's will definitely have me on my living room paying for that subscription as well is, if it was just this one person that I knew on the cast, it would be enough for me, and that would be Sonequa Martin Green, that used to be Sasha on The Walking Dead. I mean, superb actress. I mean, when she left The Walking Dead, I was kind of like, man, that's one of the people I really liked in the show, Yeah. So it's cool to see her, I guess we'll say, switching genres, which is one of the questions I actually got to ask during the conference, and it was more or less how the transition was from her moving from such a visceral, gritty, dark show like The Walking Dead, moving to something so shiny and new like Star Trek universe. You know what I mean? So that was I won't give away the answer, but you can tell that she's definitely feeling a certain responsibility, being a female African-American actress, and basically being passed the torch from somebody like Nichelle Nichols, and she feels that, and she recognizes that fans are going to be looking towards her in that respect, and so you can tell she's really conscious about that, but also she's gonna, and I think she's gonna be amazing in it, man. She
Yeah.
just how she talked about it, you can tell she's all about it.
Yeah, everything I saw, like it looks like looks very gritty, especially for Trek. And Trek has always kind of had that that motif of being clean and kind of crisp, and even and even in like even in moments when it's almost a little bit more where it's supposed to be gritty, you still kind of have that cleanliness to it. Like I kind of like the direction this is going in. And there's so many things visually that, even as a Trek purist, I'm just like, okay, that's not what I remember, but I'm willing to give it a shot because I want to see this vision. I want to see where it goes, and I'm willing to give it a try.
Yeah. Definitely. I'm excited for the stuff they talked about, and definitely there's like I said, a whole great cast of people. Also Doug Jones, who is like the creature actor god in my book. He's a great guy. I love hearing that guy talk. I was very fortunate to get to interview him at a local con not a couple years ago, and he's just a really down to earth, caring individual. And I feel like anytime you have him involved in a project, it just brings it up like that much higher. Doug Jones is going to be doing his Doug Jones thing. It's going to be awesome. So I'm looking forward to it, man. Is there anything that you hope to see in this new Star Trek series that maybe we haven't seen before, or
I watched
before you'd like to see again?
Yeah, well, I watched the Comic-Con trailer, and there was a lot more action beats than from the original kind of reveal trailer, and I actually like that. Now I'm not looking for Trek to be like an action adventure, but at the same time I kind of want to see those aspects to it. It's looking like this show is going to be that moment when the Federation is at war with the Klingons, and that should be visceral. It should be action packed. You should see those conflicts, and I want to see where that goes, because I want to see how that's resolved. I want to see, like, I love the fact that they cast Rainn Wilson as Harry Mudd. I want to see that. I want to see that play out, because as much of a joke as the character was in the original series, like Wilson just kind of looks like menacing as Harry Mudd in that trailer. It's like he's not like your garden variety con man. Like, he looks like he's got some true menace to him, and I want to see how these relationships play out. I want to see, and I guess my natural curiosity is piqued, and my Trek pessimism has kind of been put off to the side, just at the very least to give it a shot. So if anything, I am interested in seeing something I haven't seen before. If you can give me something that I can't necessarily place with anything Trek related beforehand, you've got me. You've got me at least for a season.
Yeah, absolutely. That'll be interesting, man. And I can honestly say that, not being the hugest Trek fan, that my appreciation for it has definitely I guess been a bit more now since the new films. I'm definitely a fan of the new films, and I will definitely give this show a chance, at least for 3-4 episodes. So the standard go when you're watching a new series, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I mean, until they get to the episode where the entire crew is trapped in one room, then I'm on board.
Yeah, absolutely. And that, I believe, hits in September, I believe.
Yeah.
And like Deron said earlier, that will be on the new CBS, basically like pay to stream channel, correct?
Yeah, CBS All Access is where you find it. Now, the first episode is actually going to air on CBS.
Okay.
And then after that, every episode is going to be on All Access.
Yeah, they're going to dangle the carrot, so to speak, and then get you over there to pay. They're like, you like it? Come pay for it and watch it. First
taste for free.
Yeah, exactly. But those are the two big things that I did. You know, and usual stuff, Darren, while you're camping out waiting to start your panel. You know, you see random celebs like the cast of Riverdale running by, and you know, yeah, cast of Arrow. I was just chilling in the hallway there, and I was like, oh, look, there goes Felicity, and there goes Oliver Queen, and I'm like, all right, so that's always kind of fun when you
and you want to say something, but you can't get out of line, because if you get out of line, then it's like all your effort has been in vain.
Yes. But it's good, man. It was, like I said, I still got to see some stuff. I walked on the floor a little bit and, you know, just saw what I could see, and I picked up one exclusive, which, man, I feel like every year they're jacking the prices more and more on exclusives, man.
Yeah,
it's like it's getting. It was like, all right, okay, I understand it's Comic-Con. You're paying a little extra for this nice fancy packaging that's got a sticker that says Comic-Con exclusive, and now it's getting obscene, man. I'm talking like one of the other things that I was really set out to buy was they had a Star Wars Black Series exclusive of Luke's land speeder, and which they're gonna release a regular edition in stores in the fall, I believe, and this one had an exclusive, I guess we'll say, dirty wash paint deco on it. And I mean, it's this is part of their new run of what they're calling their mid-size vehicles. And I mean, this thing was almost $100, man.
Okay.
And I couldn't do it, seeing as how, you know, they had, when episode 7 came out, they had that Black Series TIE fighter where the wings were like almost 2 feet long. And that thing was $100. I'm like, I haven't bought that because it was $100. I'm not going to buy a small little land speeder that they're going to re-release anyways.
Yeah, exactly.
I just couldn't do it, man.
I'll wait for the $29.99 version.
Exactly. But I did pick up the 2-pack, which is, I guess, the first official Black Series figures from The Last Jedi, and it's Rey in her training gear with Old Man Luke. So that came in a really nice.
Well, that's, you know, that's an expense you can justify.
Sure, yeah, that was $54 of expense, but it wasn't as bad.
Wow.
But I picked it up. It's got a cool little like fold over packaging where the boxes kind of fold onto each other, and it's got this little clear slip case. So that was cool, man. But I checked out some other stuff. We got to see some of they had the new Jaeger pilot suits from the upcoming Pacific Rim sequel. They had those on display. Yeah, so that was neat. Check those out.
Yeah, I mean, and I want to get more excited for that movie, but they just seem to be kind of dancing around like the you know, kind of what you really want from Pacific Rim, which is, I want to see the Jaegers in action. Like that's right. Honestly, like even like the teaser trailer they put out, which is more just kind of like a recruitment ad. It's just like, yeah, that's cute. But that's not what I want to see. Like that's not what I want to see.
Where's my giant robots kicking monster ass? That's what I want to see on a trailer.
Thank you. Like you can't, I mean, it's like literally like there's a formula to Pacific Rim.
Right.
That just, I mean, you don't necessarily have to deviate from it. It's not particularly difficult.
No.
Just give me that. If that's what you're feeling, just give it to me.
Yes, please.
Right.
That's all I want. That's all I want, man. Tell you, man. But definitely, yeah. Great. I don't know, man. I'm like you. I need to see more, but you know, it's I guess we're gonna have to wait for that. But I'll tell you what was big that I kept seeing everywhere at Comic-Con, which will take us into our next topic. Justice League all over the place. I mean, Justice League for days. I mean, it was like every other booth that was licensed with DC is Justice League, Justice League, Justice League. They were just putting that in your face all over the place, man. And of course,
big showing they did over there for it.
Yeah, a big old showing, of course, and you know, a good old fashioned Hall H craze fest for Justice League with the new trailer we're going to talk about a little bit right now. You got a chance to watch it, I'm sure.
Oh yes, on more than one occasion.
Yes.
Like
one of the websites, I can't remember, I think it was Collider, I want to say, posted a little bit of a what they felt was their top 10 best moments of the trailer that came out of Comic-Con, and we can discuss that, my friend. If we'll start with what they posted as number 10, which was alluding to Batman's past, and there was a line that Alfred said something about one misses the days when their biggest problem was wind up penguins.
Penguins, yeah.
Yes. So clearly, I don't know what I don't know if it's just a fun throwaway line, if they're just trying to establish that yes, this is the same Batman that's fought Penguin and Joker and all that. But what was your thoughts on that, man?
I think that's perfect if it is just a throwaway line. I was like, I don't want Alfred to kind of chime in and say, you haven't laughed like this since blah 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 blah. No, I just kind of want like little throwaway moments like that. Like I want what they could actually do that would really kind of like impress me is like a throwaway shot of a dinosaur and a giant blasted penny just in the Batcave. Just have it there for a second. Like just pan the room,
right?
Dinosaur, giant penny, back to the back computer. And just leave it alone. Just little stuff like that I'm fine with.
Just like what they did in the Lego Batman movie.
Exactly. Like I really like I like the line. I like the line. I think that's I don't know if I would put it as like a top 10 moment, but I think from what they showed in the trailer, I can kind of agree with them on it.
Yeah, I agree too. Another one they talked about, which I don't think is I mean, does anybody think that Superman's not going to come back in this movie? I mean, they're being so weird about it in the trailers. They're being really weird about it. Okay, they haven't showed him yet. I mean, there's Superman merchandise all over the place associated with this movie. Obviously, he's in the movie.
He's in all the promo art. He's in everything. Right. He's on the cups.
Yeah, so I don't get it.
Yeah,
it's not some hush hush thing that we don't know about, Deron.
Right. It's literally like there's literally almost no moment in the film, and it hasn't even come out yet where that moment could be surprising.
We're just gonna be like, all right, how many more minutes till Superman comes in? We're just waiting for it.
Like if that's the case, if they hold him out to like Act 3, then it's almost anticlimactic that he shows up in the first place.
Right. Agreed. Very much agree, man. I mean, it's they're clearly ripping the Death of Superman story. He's gonna come back and whether we see him in his black Kryptonian healing suit or he just comes full on guns blazing on the screen
and his death mullet.
Yes, the death mullet. Apparently, in the afterlife, it's all about business in the front, party in the back.
Party in the back.
Yes, but Superman's inevitable return. What they touted as moment number 8 of the trailer would be the Aquaman and his badassery in the trailer. They're definitely going hard to prove that whole he's not just the guy that can talk to fish thing.
Yeah, I mean the hair flip when he comes out of the destruction is kind of cute. I'll give that to him.
He's like, oh yeah.
Exactly. Like the whole surfer boy kind of vibe. I think that's gonna work. I think that's gonna work for him in this movie, and I think that's gonna work for him in his solo film. So as long as they kind of keep that consistent.
And I think with the actor who's playing him, it definitely works. I think if it was somebody other than Jason Momoa, it might be a little bit like, this is. But it's Jason Momoa. He's kind of like that in general, So it's
exactly, yeah.
He's just kind of got that snarky, like, kind of off the wall sense of humor. So he's like, yeah, whatever. It works, like you said, it works.
Exactly. Like I think they don't go too regal on it because then he's basically Namor. Like you want to kind of have him loose in contrast to everyone else. Like he knows about a world that you don't, and he knows about it. He knows about a society that you don't. He has his own secrets, but he's been raised as a human, so he's just kind of he's feeling out everybody else, and I kind of like that vibe where he's just like, whatever. Like I've seen it's probably because it alludes to the fact that he's seen things that we haven't, and that actually kind of makes it cooler.
Yeah. How much of Aquaman's, I guess we'll say where he's from, his kingdom, do you think we'll see in this film? Do you think they're going to give us a little bit to kind of set up his solo film, or you think we're not really going to see any of it?
I don't think we're going to see too much, and I hope that we don't. I think like from everything I've seen is just like they're going to be maybe a couple of scenes. Like, as it looked like there's a scene with Mira underwater, and then there's a scene with him underwater, and Steppenwolf's axe being thrown. Like, I don't think you get a whole lot of Atlantis in the film, and I hope not to see too much. I think because he's doing the whole like helping people on land and hard drinking kind of thing, he may be in exile. So that may be the reason why you're not necessarily going to see a whole lot of Atlantis, because even that scene where he's underwater, it looks like he has to stop in order to address someone who's barring his way. So maybe he's the king in exile in this movie, and then we'll see his either the journey to why or the journey back in the solo film.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that sounds cool. I'd be with that, man. It sounds awesome. Of course, this wouldn't be a Justice League trailer without chock full of Wonder Woman. I mean, Wonder Woman's the DC.
Oh, they would have been Wonder Woman on this trailer.
Yes. Wonder Woman's the DC golden child as far as their movie universe goes right now. I mean, she's the only character thus far in this new DCEU universe that's had a completely successful film. So of course they're gonna throw Wonder Woman as much as they can in there, man, and they definitely did in this trailer. But I don't think there's necessarily anything wrong with that. I love Wonder Woman. I love seeing her on the screen. I love it when she's like whooping ass and getting hit with the stock of a machine gun and doesn't even flinch. I mean, like, bring more Wonder Woman. I'll take it all.
And I even like the fact that it seems like she's dealing with, and I think the scene is it's going to be tied to the whole Mother Box Steppenwolf thing, but I like the fact that she's kind of dealing with a situation as Wonder Woman. Like, she's not at some point, like, it's almost like Superman's death has kind of inspired her to go back out into the world. And it's kind of, I know that's in like a lot of the synopses for as far as with Batman, but it's interesting to kind of see how that dynamic is going to play out with Diana as well, especially since she's they've put her in a situation where she's got this long history of knowing of things like that. So it's going to be cool to see her kind of cut loose in the film.
Yeah, agreed. So Deron, talk to me a little bit about this next point. One of the things that they showed in this little top 10 list was something about boom tubes. Is that Steppenwolf's mode of transportation? Is that how he makes his entrance?
Yeah, I mean, they kind of put that out there in Batman v Superman with the whole Mother Box thing. So of course, Steppenwolf being Darkseid's uncle, how else are you going to travel from Apocalypse to Earth but via boom tube? So and even again from a lot of the stuff from this trailer and the first trailer that came out, it looks like there's going to be like a huge epic battle between the forces, between like the Amazons and the forces of Apocalypse. And it's a little bit of a stretch to me for me to understand like why are there 3 Mother Boxes on Earth, but it almost kind of from a plot perspective. But if they're going to be there, of course, Themyscira is going to be a place that houses one, and it also looks like it might, like Atlantis might have one.
Yeah. Okay.
So then the third one is the one that turns Vic into Cyborg. Okay. So
I got you. How do you and this kind of ties in with another one of their points on the list. How do you, being that this is the first time we really get to see what Steppenwolf looks like in this film, and being I'm a fellow who knows very little about that character, how well do you think they've nailed at least the look of the character in the movie?
Oh, they've nailed the look. Like, he looks like, there wasn't a whole lot of full-on face to see, but it's they've definitely got the physicality and the size. And frankly, if that's the size of Steppenwolf that they're going with, then when they finally get to Darkseid, He's gonna be huge. And he already is huge. So it's gonna be really interesting to see how they kind of pull that out. Like it would, if they're going to, in comparison to size, he'd almost be like double the size of Thanos in the MCU.
That's what I'm thinking, man. I'm like, that's scary, man.
Exactly. So
how do you deal with that?
So he looks really good. I love the axe. I love that scene where, you know, he just throws the axe down on the ground. Like I want to see those shows of power from him.
Sure.
It's gonna be interesting. Like, but you know, from a comics perspective, you know, in the comic books, you know, Steppenwolf he's never really been kind of, you know, at least in my opinion, he's never really been like a big bad. He's always been like a precursor to the big bad, i.e. Darkseid. So it'll be interesting to see how they kind of play him as the main villain.
Right. So. Yeah. Another thing this trailer accomplished was giving us more of the Flash and how he's gonna, you know, I feel like he's gonna steal a lot of the scenes that he's in. He's definitely the quirky comic relief of the film. I think the full-on like comic relief, I think, is going to be courtesy of the Flash, and we definitely got some other cool shots of Cyborg and kind of some of the things that he's going to be doing in the movie as far as, you know, we'll say his abilities. What are you warming up more to this Flash? Because I mean, I was one of the guys that I'm like, why the hell didn't they put Grant Gustin? Yeah, but I'm curious what your opinion on it, the more we see of Ezra Miller as the Flash. What are you thinking about him?
Honestly, not much. Like, he still really hasn't made much of an impression on me, good or bad. Yeah. Like, I'm still kind of, you know, middle of the road with him. I think the scene with him and Gordon on the roof, I think it's cute. I think it probably would have been funny if they like cut it by about 5 seconds, like 10 seconds. Just gonna say, oh, that's if he turned around and just say, oh, they do that, yeah, that's weird. Oh, okay, I guess I gotta go. But like, I think they're gonna. I think I'm hoping that they don't, but there's a part of me that fears that they're gonna try and cram way too much humor, into Flash. I think it's to the point where when he does say something, it's not organic and it just seems forced. I'm hoping they don't do that. I think that's probably one of the reasons why they brought in Joss Whedon for dialogue.
Sure.
At least that's what I think. But you know, I'm hoping that they don't make him comic relief.
Yeah.
Because then you can't necessarily sustain that going into a solo film, especially a solo film that you have boldly titled Flashpoint.
Flashpoint, yeah.
Yeah.
So. That's some big speedy shoes to put him in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's just you know what? Let's go ahead and just, you know, put all our cards on the table and not even wait for the Just
go for the gusto.
I guess it should have gone for the Gustin.
Yes, there it is, man. Nice. Last thing before we get to the final spot, they did throw a line in there establishing that the Green Lantern Corps, we'll say, is in this universe. And I think that was probably Steppenwolf's voice talking about how there's no lanterns, there's no Kryptonian, this world will fall easily. Definitely a little nod to, hey, we got some Green Lantern stuff coming.
I think that's not even like a little nod. I think that was just like a blatant, hey, a blatant announcement, which frankly, I think is perfect. They should have done that.
Yeah.
I think they should have just said, I think it's great for them to do that. I think it's great for them to just kind of say, hey, you know what? The lanterns exist. They're not here.
Yep.
But it's something for fans to look forward to. Like, I look forward to seeing how they're introduced.
Yeah.
So
it's they're not here now, but after all this crap goes down, they're probably going to show up.
Exactly.
After to deal with the aftermath and make sure it doesn't happen again.
And then the fact that, you know, it's Steppenwolf talking to someone.
Yeah, who's he talking to?
Exactly. So
we're gonna maybe see Darkseid in this movie.
Hopefully. I mean, you know what? I think I think if they do anything short of like a full-on like Thanos chair turning reveal, I think it'd be. I think they should. I think they should keep Darkseid out of this film. I think he should be like the ominous, shadow in the corner, like
the presence in the room.
Exactly.
Yeah. The last big thing on that trailer, Darren, is the end that kind of leaves you on a cliffhanger with, which is Alfred talking to somebody, saying, I think he says, "You said you would come," or something like that, and they start that scene with the very Jurassic Park ripples and the glass of liquid there that's on the desk. Who do you think is Alfred talking to? Is he talking to Superman? Is he talking to Martian Manhunter? Like, who is it?
It's got to be one of two characters. It's either got to be Superman or it's got to be a Green Lantern. And I sincerely doubt it's a Green Lantern, because why? So, I mean, it just by process of elimination, it's got to be Superman. But again, that scene bothers me, because then it just seems very third act, like very, we're getting our asses handed to us. Thank God you're finally here now, Superman.
Yeah. So. Right. I think honestly, like, it's cool to think that, hey, it might be somebody else, because I was talking to some people about it, they're like, I think it's Martian Manhunter. I'm like, that'd be cool, but I don't think they're gonna go and throw in another big character like that in this movie, especially with the build up and the scenario that they're in, and the whole getting the team together, and I think Superman is definitely, like you said, being pegged as the big presence that they're probably gonna throw in the third act, unfortunately. But I think that's, to me, that makes the most sense. That's probably what's going to happen, but we'll see when the Justice League finally comes out.
Yeah,
should be interesting, man. I guess we'll say I'm a little more open to it now, but I'm still not going to get my hopes up.
Yeah,
it's been through a lot of changes and issues, so I'm not putting too much money on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, it's I'm still hopeful, and I want to remain hopeful, but you got a lot. It's still looking like extensive reshorts in a very short period of time before it's supposed to come out. This movie's supposed to come out in November, so that's really not a lot of time to kind of pull it together if they really had to do that much work to it.
Right. Yeah, but that's a lot of interesting stuff in that trailer for sure. Some other big things that we've gotten the last couple of weeks is we've gotten our first real look at Domino in the Deadpool 2 film. There was there's a fun little by the fireside laying on the rug, which is obviously a nod to the Deadpool version from the first movie, but now it's her laying on top of a Deadpool looking rug. So the folks over at the Nerdist had a nice little interesting article about what their thoughts on what that picture could possibly mean. And of course, there's a lot of things being built up from this movie, with Cable and Domino and possibly beginnings of the X-Force and things like that. What do you feel that this iteration of Domino means for Deadpool 2? Do you think she's going to be an enemy in the beginning and a friend later, a frenemy maybe? Like, what do you think that means for this next film?
I honestly don't know, because I have so many different characters who have relationships with Domino. I mean, you've got the Deadpool Domino dynamic. You've got a relationship between Cable and Deadpool. You got a relationship between Colossus and Domino. So I mean, like, do you have there's so many different avenues to how she could be introduced, that I'm actually more excited about the fact that I can't necessarily predict how she would be in the film. Like, she could, I don't know, could she travel from the future with Cable? Could she be a fellow mercenary with Wade? Like, is she, is she loosely affiliated with the X-Men with Colossus? Like, there's so many different ways. I mean, is she having a relationship with Colossus like she does in the comics? Like, there's just so many different aspects to, there's so many different ways she could be in that film, that it's almost like you end up like spinning your wheels trying to even speculate as to why. I mean, just trying to pick one is almost kind of a waste of time at this point.
Yeah. I definitely definitely, as far as the look of the character Deron, I think she looks really cool. I like what they've did. I like how they've changed it up for this movie. It's that and freaking Josh Brolin getting ripped is all get out, man. To be a Cable, that's something else, man. I didn't think Josh Brolin could look like that.
I think it's gonna be cool. I mean, just kind of seeing the whole, the whole transformation, because you got him as Thanos and now you got him as Cable. Like,
yeah,
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah,
I'm hoping. The only thing I'm really hoping is that they don't take themselves too seriously. That's one of the reasons why the first Deadpool worked so well.
Absolutely.
I think if they go, hey, this is our sequel, we have to go big, then I think you're gonna lose. You're gonna lose the charm that made the original film a hit.
Yeah, absolutely. They need to stick to that formula because it worked phenomenally the first film, and I think that was one of the, like you said, one of the things that made Deadpool so fun and unique. Besides the amount of swear words in the movie.
Exactly. And that holiday sequence.
Absolutely. Gotta love the holidays, man. Let's see real quick what else. Also on the subject of Marvel of Wonder Woman, as of now, the CW has canceled its plans for what was going to be kind of like a Wonder Woman prequel show. I think it was called The Amazons, or I think it was called Amazon. I think this move, seeing as how successful her standalone film was, and the fact that she's got another standalone film coming and the Justice League, that move doesn't surprise me. She's their cash cow. They're going to milk it for all it's worth, on the big screen. I don't think once that happened, I don't think there was much hope that show was actually going to come to fruition.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I think they're going to go for quality over quantity, and they've proven that. In essence, they've kind of already shown that transition on screen. So anything else on a smaller scale would just be like anticlimactic, because you'd be waiting for her to leave the island and become Wonder Woman the whole time. So,
they kind of said it was going to be kind of like their like Smallville, but I think Smallville made sense at the time because we hadn't seen anything as far as big screen or TV of Superman in a long time.
Exactly.
And I think that was that peg that needed to be filled, is at least in, comic book fans at the time, we wanted to see something with Superman. I don't think that show would have happened if there was a big budget Superman film on the screen at the time.
Oh, absolutely. If there were like a sustainable like Superman franchise at the time, then I don't think you get a Smallville, because then people would ask the question, well, why am I watching the boyhood adventures of the guy I can go see every summer or every other summer?
Right.
So yeah, I think that's the best move they can make, is to just kind of, quietly put the Amazon series away, because then you can focus on a character that's not that's not the big three. Like the CW has done so well with their series, just kind of taking characters that either or you don't necessarily know or wouldn't necessarily think could carry a show, and have done it. But you don't need to necessarily like the Trinity can, in my opinion, stay on the screen, and stay on the big screen. And I know people are going to say, well, Gotham, but to its credit, Gotham is kind of sticking with the Commissioner Gordon, with the Jim Gordon storyline. So it's not necessarily a Batman show. So just kind of keep the Trinity on the big screen. Like give me the DC universe. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Couldn't agree with you more. Also, another movie news, the Hellboy reboot, which has been titled Hellboy: Rise of the Blood Queen, along with in case anybody out there doesn't really know much about it, David Harbour, who is the man that plays Sheriff Hopper on Stranger Things, is the new Hellboy, and apparently they have just recently cast the one and only Hellboy's papa, Hellboy's Earth dad, we'll say. Professor Broom will be played by none other than Ian McShane, who, in case you don't know who that is, or not familiar with the name, he was recently seen in John Wick 2 as the head of the Continental, and of course he was Blackbeard in Pirates of the Caribbean 4 on Stranger Tides, and a slew of other shows and movies. He's American Gods, am I right? He's in that too as well.
Yep, Mr. Wednesday.
What do you think about the? Yeah, what do you think about the choice to have Ian McShane as Professor Broom?
I think it's good casting. I love Ian McShane and everything that he's done. I loved him as Swearigan on Deadwood. I can't think, like, even his cameo on Game of Thrones is amazing to me.
Right.
It's hard for me to think of a bad performance by Ian McShane.
Sure.
To that end,
Professor
Broom has always kind of been is like kind of like a patronally kind of fatherly figure.
Yeah.
And from an acting perspective, Ian McShane has always kind of, struck me as a really good antagonist type.
He has a very commanding presence.
Right, exactly. Like I don't want his presence to overshadow Hellboy.
Right.
But at the same time, like it's like he kind of commands the screen when he's on it. So if he were playing if he were playing the bad guy, I'd be excited to see him as well. But but he's Ian McShane, so he can do it. He can absolutely pull off the role. But but then the question becomes, are they kind of writing a different type of Professor Broom? Are they going to alter that relationship a little bit? Or are they or is he going to like downplay, to kind of play that character, to play that older kind of scientist character?
Right. I think he's going to have to tap into that softer side that we saw in his cameo on Game of Thrones. He's going to have to kind of go into that role. You know what I mean?
Be that guy. Or like I said, probably they're going to alter Broom to the point where Professor Broom's kind of a badass.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Good. Deron, did you get a chance to read any comic books this week, man? Any exciting titles you want to highlight this week?
Okay, so not even necessarily exciting titles, but I have yet to talk to someone about this.
Okay.
And I gotta get someone else's perspective, because maybe it's just me. Maybe it's something I'm not getting, but I've been finding Secret Empire to be a slog issue after.
Are you talking snooze fest, man? Is that what you're saying?
Not even snooze fest. It's not necessary. It's not boring me to sleep, but it's boring me conceptually. Like, it's just I'm finding myself just at the end of every issue just kind of going, all right, I guess I'll wait for the next one.
Yeah.
It's like I don't find anything, and I know it's a dark story, but even a dark story, in my opinion, can is revelatory in the storytelling. I haven't necessarily found anything in it, and I'm willing to believe that maybe it's me. Maybe there's something I'm not getting, but I've read every issue up until the current one, and like nothing about it it still just really hasn't popped for me yet. And I know there are people that are swearing by it, and I want someone else's opinion, someone else's perspective. Like, educate me, please.
Well, shoot, man, we're gonna have to go to the listeners on that one, because I've surprisingly actually have talked to a few close friends, you included, who feel the same way about Secret Empire, which is why I have not picked up a single issue of that book. And I'm just like, I don't know, man. To me, it doesn't have enough good credits from sources that I trust for me to want to go read it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But I may have to, just to have a better conversation with you. I think I've got the 0 issue from Free Comic Day and issue 1, and I never read them. They're sitting in my box, so I may have to check it out to see what's up. But
I mean, I'm on issue 7, and I'm just like, how much more? Like, it's the comic book equivalent of looking at my watch to wait to see when is the perfect moment to leave a really boring party. And I just,
I got you.
And like I said, and I'm willing to believe that there's just maybe something I'm not getting, but I gotta know. Like, somebody let me know what I'm not getting. What about it in your perspective, in your mind, are the positives? What are the things you're enjoying about it? Like, please let me know.
Yeah. Listeners out there and fans and followers, if you've got some words to impart on Deron as to what you think is so great about this book, send it our way. We want to hear what your thoughts about it, because clearly it's not working for Deron. I don't know if it'll work for me either, man. So let's check it out. But,
and yet I keep going back, so maybe that's the point. Maybe they're peddling in frustration. They're going to keep frustrating me to the point where I keep buying the book.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I think that's their goal. That's what they want to do. Anything else you got a chance to catch up on?
Book wise, not yet. Like, I'm kind of kidding. I'm really kind of gearing myself up for Metal coming up. So I'm just kind of I'm kind of paring myself back. I'm reading my DC stuff. I'm reading. I have been like kind of going a little bit outside of the Secret Empire story and kind of reading like the little side issues, like the Brave New World stuff. But even that, it's still kind of, it's still kind of, it's not necessarily enhancing the story for me as much as I'm like, oh, I really like these people better than everyone else. Like,
yeah,
like why couldn't Secret Empire be about this character?
So. Yeah, it's crap, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Deron, I didn't get to read much this week. I wanted to catch up on Darth Vader, and I couldn't find issue 3 anywhere, and issue 4 just came out today, so I wasn't going to jump ahead, but apparently my local comic shops have been selling out of both of that book like crazy. So I'm gonna have to go online and find it. But I did pick up, which I didn't get a chance to pick up when it came out, Invincible Iron Man number 9, the Adventures of Ironheart, Riri Williams. This issue is a huge all-out brawl between her and Lucia von Bartis, who is the current ruler of Latveria, former home of Dr. Doom.
I just like the name Von Bartis.
Yeah, yes, it's very it's very Latvian. And the issue is definitely just one big fight between Riri and that particular villain. You get some interesting conversations between the two big AIs in the Stark world, which are of course Friday and the AI that was modeled after Tony Stark himself. So you kind of get some insight as to certain things that are worrying Friday about that particular AI in this book. So and I'm sure they're gonna hatch that out a little bit more with the whole Tony Stark saga. And the end is kind of an interesting thing when Riri finally defeats her, and she basically says, "Well, I just kind of did what happens when another country takes over another country in the olden times. So you might want to show some respect to your new queen." So I was like, "Oh, she went there." Yeah. So
Riri Von Williams.
Yes, there it is, man. But I love her. I love her as Ironheart. She's super fun. She adds a nice twist and a nice different dynamic, especially with her continual bickering with her AI Tony, which is always good for a laugh. But yeah, that was all I got to check out this week, man. So that's a good place to start wrapping up. But real quick, I wanted to drop some news for our listeners and followers, and I actually just talked to Deron at the beginning of the show about this. So our wonderful, amazing site, the Geeks Worldwide, has definitely grown leaps and bounds exponentially from when I first got involved with the site. That basically started out as one podcast, and then ours was the second one. And it's been a long journey from that first episode, which was myself and Casey and James Hardwick. And in the early days, we had people like Patrick Thorpe kind of in and out from Dark Horse, and so it's been a fun ride. And like everything else on the Geeks Worldwide, our show and our network as a whole are constantly evolving and changing, and new people are coming on the scene, and people are leaving to do other things on the site, and go into different areas of geek news and whatnot. So we have recently got some news that our good friend and original Capes Crew podcast member, Mr. Casey Walsh, who does so much on the site now, man, he's kind of decided to take, we'll say, more of a backseat approach to this podcast in particular, and still do the administrative and things like that. And I'm sure he'll get him to pop up every once in a while, but mistakenly on his end, he decided to fully give me the reins on this show. So we're going to be going through I guess what I like to call a transitional phase on this show. And so the name Capes Crew Podcast will be getting phased out, and we'll be bringing the show back to you guys on a regular basis under the new name, which is going to be, what else would it be, man? It's going to be the Geek Side Podcast, which I've been saying at the end of every episode from day one that I've been a part of this organization. So if you've recently, you've already noticed that they've already changed the name, so you no longer will find us at Capes Crew. You'll now find us at _Geek Side Pod. So if you're wondering what the heck happened, that's what's going on. So I'm looking forward to continuing to be on the web waves and just talk about all my fandoms and geek stuff with awesome people like Deron at my side. And hopefully we're going to get some new voices onto the pod that we've been wanting to do for a while. And I'm going to be coming up with some new things that I like to do on the show every week, and maybe bets, but still going to be talking about all your favorite geek stuff like movies and TV shows and comics. So to all of those of you that have been listening to the Capes Crew podcast for 176 episodes, we want to say thank you from the bottom of our heart. It's been a ride, and we hope you'll stick around and join us for this new change as we move on to the next level of geekery. So Deron, thank you for being here with me on the next phase, man, and I look forward to it and seeing what else we can infuse into this pod, man.
Absolutely. I look forward to it.
It's going to be a good time. So, and as like I said, Casey's still a huge part of the G Dubs. He's still here. He's just kind of like old man Bruce Wayne hiding in the back somewhere, just kind of watching what I do with everything. It's like, what are we doing? What are we doing? Wait, he's the guy at the chair, like in Spider-Man. Right. Yes, but anyways, thank you guys so much. As always, you can find us on the web, thegww.com, for all the latest on the newest news in comics, television, movies, hardware, software, computer stuff, you name it. People are talking about it on the Capes, on the G Dubs. Constantly new articles going up. Everything to tickle your geek fancy, you can find it at thegww.com. And like I said, you can check us out at our new Twitter handle, which is _Geek Side Pod, where you can find all the old gang still talking about the same crazy stuff. Deron, where can our friends find you on the Twitters?
Well, you can find me at Superpowered Fan. That's where I am on the Twitter feeds, on the tweets and the twats.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes. Oh yeah, let's do it, man. And as always, guys, you can find me personally on Twitter at Darth Sparrow. We look forward to coming back to you next week with our first official podcast on the geek side. And so in light of that, we thank you. Have a great evening, and we'll catch you. That's right, on the geek side.
All right.